Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. Right now, it's the afternoon. It's nice and rainy today, so not too crazy, but we're inside. We're feeling good. So, welcome to another class of Art Class with Herm. I'm Herm. I'm an illustrator and artist who loves baseball and loves to draw it. And I really want to share that love of drawing baseball with you too. So every time you tune in here to Art Class with Herm, we're going to draw a baseball centric drawing. Probably 99.9% it has to do with the Mets because we're big Mets fans here. And if you're not, that's okay. Sometimes we draw popcorn and hot dogs, but there's a lot of history for everybody around. So if this is your first time here, welcome. As I said, this is our 12th episode, which is pretty amazing. Can't believe that we're this far up on there. But not to worry, you can join us and watch all of our previous episodes as well. You can scroll back on any of the 7-line social feeds, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, for example, or you can visit artclasswithherm.com. And that's going to bring you to a YouTube playlist of all of our classes. So if for some reason you hate your internet browser, just go to YouTube and type in Art Class with Herm too, and that'll bring you up to that same playlist as well. Awesome. How are you guys? Excellent. Sounds great. So in our last class, we drew Shea Stadium. That was pretty awesome, right? It was really fun to sit down and get those shapes in there and stuff. So I want to thank everyone that shared your drawings online. It brings a lot of joy to my heart to see them. I know that we have a nice little art club now, so it's really cool that we get to share and comment and all that. So they were really awesome to see. So as a thank you for drawing along with us, we chose 3 artists that we wanted to give a $10 gift card for the 7line.com to. So those 3 artists this class are the DeYoung family, Heather, and Kevin. So thanks so much for sharing your drawings with us. I really, the Young family, you tugged at my heartstrings. I love when the family gets together and draws along. So if you ever do that, throw those pictures up. I love those kind of shots. They're really great. Awesome. So before we get into what we're going to be drawing today, let's talk about some of the supplies that we're going to be needing. So as we always say here in Art Class with Herm, there are no rules. But I give you a little guidance. And what I mean by that, we're going to be using just a regular sheet of paper, just a regular 8.5 by 11 that I pulled out of my printer is what I'm going to be using. But feel free to use anything there. We got some crayons. I got my brush pen, markers, pens, pencils, all that. Grab something that's near and dear to you, and we'll have a good time with that. All right. Whoops, dropping my crayons. Don't want to do that. All right. So let's talk about what we're going to draw today. So today we're going to be drawing one of my favorite players, Dom Smith. So if you've been living under a rock these past year or two, Dom Smith is one of our players on the Mets on our current roster there. What I love about him so much is he's just a real positive guy. You know, I've never met him, but you can just feel the energy and the smiles and the good nature from him. I know he was injured for a lot of last season, 2019, but he was always the first guy to jump out at like a real big play or celebration and stuff. So even when you're down, kids, you can always still support your friends and family and teammates by just being there and being positive, you know? So a couple things about Dom. He's a member of the Cookie Club. I don't know if you've seen that online. It's pretty funny. I know it's a bunch of the guys who were getting together last season or maybe in the spring training, messing up my details there, but they get together, have a couple of cookies and talk about the love of the game. One of my favorite Dom Smith moments was the game on August 9th, 2019, which was the most amazing Mets game I've ever been to. That's when, what everything happened on there. That's when Conforto knocked that walk-off home run, got his shirt ripped off, and then Dom literally scooted out on one of those like injury scooters. So I mean, that was amazing. He stole the show on that amazing game. And another fun thing I had on the last game of the season, I believe I have the date here. It was September 29th. You know, it was a crazy game, last game at Citi Field. Look at me. But I ended up drawing that. So Dom came in and his first at bat after his injury, and he hit a walk-off home run. So I thought that was kind of cool. I found this drawing in my drawer right here. So this is the 10th inning, and this is the 11th. So you can see I drew this while they were playing. I had these amazing seats right behind home plate, which was awesome. It was free food. Can you believe it? Felt like I'd never eaten before. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about us. All right. So You guys ready? So this is going to be Dom Smith that we're going to be drawing today. We're going to be drawing him like kind of taking a swing. It's mere seconds before that walk-off home run. So what we're going to do is let's just grab a sheet of paper. And I'm going to pop that right there for us. So I'm going to draw my paper sideways right now, or horizontally, as we say. This should be vertically, and this is horizontally. So I'm going to do it right there so we can get that full kind of swing on there. All right. Oh, before we start too, check this out. Isn't this cool? I got these really cool art class with Herm stickers. I'll put it right there too. So I can't wait to give those out to everybody once baseball season starts up. Come say hello, and I'll make sure that I have one for you to give. Sorry, I just got them in the mail. I wanted to show them off. My wife did not care. Maybe you will. All right, cool, awesome. Here we go. All right, so what we're going to draw is we're going to start off from the head, and then we're going to build our way down on here. So one thing to think about when you're drawing is we're going to be, so this is the head, obviously. We're going to be having this bat come swing around. So probably wouldn't be, maybe you want to start your drawing up a little higher so you have enough room for that bat in that swing. That way you're not like halfway done with your drawing. You're like, oh my goodness. And then you have to like, fit everything in there. So let's draw this one maybe in the middle and up just a little bit higher. All right, so there we go. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my pen here and I'm gonna start a line up here. I'm gonna make one continuous, like kind of like a half circle. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm starting up a little high, like I said, and I'm coming up and I'm gonna make this turn. And I made kind of this, like this shape right here. It's kind of like a half circle. It's like a little circle if I just squeeze it a bit on there. So this is going to be the top of our batting helmet. So now that I have that here, I'm going to come over on the left side and I'm going to draw the brim of that batting helmet. So pardon me if my hand's in the way, but I'll draw first and you can take a look. So I'm going to start up here and I'm just going to bend in and I'm going to curve. And my goal here is I'm just going to connect it to like the top part or the side part of our helmet right there. So this is going to be our helmet. Let's add a couple little details in there. So right on this little brim right there, I'm going to add a little line right there. So if you've been following along with me drawings here, basically I'm showing you how I like to draw. So you're going to see a lot of little details and stuff, which I think are fun. So I have that right there. I'm going to add this little line up here, this little rectangle kind of shape on the top. And then another one over here. So this is just like, that's just kind of like the vents in the helmet, so you're just not sweating like crazy while it's in there. And then I'll add a little squiggy line there for like another little vent. Something like that on there. We'll come back and we'll add the Met symbol at the end there. All right, so now that we have our helmet, we're going to work on our face. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the ear. I'm going to draw the ear right about here over there. The reason I'm drawing the ear first is this way we can start to align where our nose and mouth and stuff are going to be. So to draw an ear, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up over here on the right side, and I'm just going to make this bump like that. And then I'm going to come down a little bit and then continue it like this right here. So it's almost like an upside down number 3 that we have right there. You see that? Not too bad. So one of the things, so we want to add a little detail in the ear so it doesn't just look like an upside down number 3 or a peanut. So we always say too, when you grab your ear and you have those folds in there, let's draw some lines in there to get that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the top here. I'm just going to draw this curved little line. You see that right there? That little curved line? And then I'm going to come down and add this other line kind of coming off of here. So I'm kind of made like this like weird looking Y inside the eye. Nope, inside the ear. Goodness. You've been around here long enough, I stumble on my words often, but we're here to have a good time. Okay, so now that we have that, let's come back into this area here, and we're going to draw the nose. So there's no real shape to this that I'm going to draw, but it's kind of like a question mark with a little curve at the end. So I'm going to draw it first, and then I'll show you so you can get a better example of it. So you would say this is like the middle of our hat, right? So I'm going to come and I'm going to draw my nose kind of in the middle right here. So I'm going to come right there. what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this like bend. There's that question mark part where it bumps. And then I come up and then I pull it up like that. So rather than me explain it all day, I'm just going to kind of show you what it is. So you just come down and then you make that like big bend, kind of like you're making a circle almost. Then you come up and then you make another little loop on here. So this part, this is like the front part of your nose, right? That little round part in the front. And this is your nostril. You know, it's where your little boogers come out and stuff. So that's what that is right there. All right. So now that we have this here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in the outline of the face. Now, before I do this, don't worry if you mess this part up where we make the outline of the face, because we are going to cover it with facial. Oh, I just dropped all my crayons. Anyway, we'll worry about that later. Don't worry if you mess that part up. We're just going to cover it with facial hair. Oh, man. That was so funny. All right, anyway. So let's go. All right, there we go. All right, cool. So let's draw that face there. So what I'm going to do, here's the hat. Oh, man, that was so funny. So I'm just going to come around to that part. And I'm going to make this kind of like shape of the face right here. So I'm just going to I'm just lining up where I want my jawline to be. So again, remember that it doesn't have to be perfect. So then I'm going to come around here. I'm going to start from where the ear is. And then I'm going to draw something like this right there. So I have something like that right there. So, you know, it's not perfect. It's not totally connected. And don't worry about that, because what we're doing is we're just going to cover all of that area up with some beard and mustache. So here's our nose right here. Let's give Dom a little smirk, right? Because he's about to hit that walk-off home run. So to do that, I kind of do this like this little line right there. So you can make him a happy face or however you want. I just make that little smirk right there because he's kind of in it. And then I'm just going to make this little curved line underneath it and add a little bit of a shadow. This is like the bottom part of the lip. All right. So let's start to add in that beard and mustache right now. So your mustache goes right here, right? Like right underneath your nose. So, you know what? In order to make the facial hair that I want, I'm just going to take whatever you're drawing with, and I'm just going to lightly make in some little lines here. So I'll make my mustache right there. Kind of something like this. So that's our mustache. So now, let me show you on my final drawing. So this is what our drawing can look like. So basically, I'm just going to draw this like facial hair that goes right around his face right there. So feel free to draw this how you want. But if you want to draw like I am, just like I did the mustache, I'm coming up and I'm just going to make some lines just to kind of add some facial hair touches right in there. Now, when I'm drawing like beards and mustaches and stuff like that, don't worry if it's not perfect. You know, I like it to be a little uneven a bit, because that's kind of like how beards are and mustaches and stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen online somebody that has one that's like totally perfect. It looks like they can take it off at night and put it on their nightstand, you know? So we'll make it look like this. This is kind of like mine. It's looking good. So yeah, so basically also too, when you're drawing a beard, right at the chin, that's where the most hair is. So it's a little bushier down here. And then when you get up to the top of the ear, or like right there, it starts to thin out. So you can see here, so it's like little thin, gets bigger, bushier, and then we come up to the jawline here, and then it's thinning out to there. Excellent. So now right here on the side of the nostril, I'm just gonna draw a little line right there. That's kind of like a smile line. See that right there on the right? So the reason we add this too, these little details really add a lot to your drawing. So, you know, when you guys are smiling, next time you smile, it's something really exciting, or look in the mirror and like start to smile and stuff, and you'll see like your cheek kind of pulls up a little bit. And that's basically just the muscle of your mouth pushing that up. So that's where we get those lines in there. So it's just a fun little part that we can add to the drawing, make a little more lifelike. All right. So you got Dom Smith's head, right? So let's go ahead and let's add in his body right now. So this part, it's going to look a little weird for a second, but if you follow along and trust me, we'll get our drawing. It looks going to look pretty cool. So I'm going to start up here on my left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come kind of in this area where the brim of the hat meets the side of the face. And I'm going to come down and I'm drawing the shoulder. So I'm going to draw something like this right there. So you see that line? So basically I came down and then I rounded it off at the end. So that's our shoulder. And then I'll make mine a little longer. I'm going to come down. I'm going to add the part of the sleeve in. So here's the end of that drawing we did, right? So I'm going to come up just a little bit. And I'm going to curve down like this. Just a little bit of a curve. As you see, the main thing I did is I left that little bit of a line there. So it kind of pops off. So don't worry if you mess that up, you can just add that in later. That's just like a fold in the jersey. I think it's kind of cool. So let's add that part of the sleeve where the arm pops out now. So I'm going to come down and I'm just going to make this like kind of bit of a curve right there. So this is going to be that arm. So let's forget about this for a second. Let's move on to the other shoulder now. So kind of like what we did before, we're going to have our shoulders going to come around in this area. Pardon me. So here, let's like take our finger and just like glide where we want it to be. So kind of in this spot right here, like just under his ear. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make this big looping shape. This is going to be the sleeve. So follow along, watch me for a sec, and then you can kind of copy after. So I'm going to come down. And I'm going to come down like that. This is our sleeve. And then I'm going to come in like this. There we go. So you can see basically I just kind of lined up where the other shoulder is. I came down, and then when I wanted the sleeve to stop, like where the arm's going to come out, I curved up and then finished off with that. So this is our sleeve here. So let me add a couple of extra lines here because, you know, when you swing the bat, the folds in your clothes, it all kind of tucks in and stuff. So here's my sleeve here. I'm going to add a couple more little lines. This is a fun little technique you can do while you're drawing. If you ever wanted to get some of these just like quick folds in there, you can just kind of like follow along with your first line and then just continue off and then stop. So I added this like kind of feathered look in there. And then I'll add another line like right about here, just to give like kind of the layout of the jersey. All right, so we're getting somewhere, right? We're starting to see where our drawing's coming along. So now this is when you can kind of add whatever jersey you want. I'm going to be drawing Dom with the blue jersey with the orange stripes on this sleeve. This is my favorite jersey. So if you want to follow along like that, I'm going to add this like orange bar right here. So basically, I'm just going to take two curved lines. I'm going to add them on both sides of the sleeve. So you can see, like, I just put like one line and it went up a little bit and added that second line. So we can color that in orange. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side here. So I'm just going to take in those two lines there. And this is going to be our sleeve. So you can see right there. Now, I didn't really end this in anything because we're going to add that part of the body in a little bit later. And then right here, let's go ahead and let's add a big circle. Circle just like that. And I'm going to add another circle on the inside because we're going to color this in orange too. So that's going to be a Mets patch later. So let's not write, I'm not going to write Mets in it. I'm going to come back at the end and add that in when we add in all the added jersey parts. All right. So now that we have like the top part of Dom's body, let's come in. We're going to add his arms now and then to the back. So I'm going to work on this arm first. All right. So basically what we're going to be doing is his arm is going to be like coming down. So as I make this shape, I'm going to be coming down a little bit. So I'm going to come down from my sleeve a little bit, and I'm going to take this curved line, and I'm going to curve down like this. So you can see a bit. So you see, like, this is like the part, this is like where the elbow is. So it's a little, that's where the muscle is. So it comes up, comes down, stops right there. Now I'm going to come on the other side, And this is going to be like our elbow. So we're going to come down, bend it in, and then bring it like that. So you can see we got that bit of an arm right now. A sip of coffee. All right. So now we're going to draw the bat and the hands. So don't worry, it's pretty straightforward. I'll walk you through step by step how to do that. All right. So you can see most baseball players wear, I guess all baseball players have batting gloves on, to get a grip of that bat. So we're going to draw that a bit. So right here, I'm going to round this out with kind of this like rounded rectangle shape. You see that there? Just at the end of the arm, I put that like rounded rectangle shape. So that's like the Velcro part that everybody ties. All right. So now at this top here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and I'm going to make this bend. So that's going to be like the palm. This is where our thumb is. Remember when we drew hands in some of our other classes? That's like the muscle part of your thumb. And now to make the thumb, I'm going to come up and I'm going to make this shape here. So you got something like this, right? All right, so this is like our inside of our palm and our thumb. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a baseball bat. So my bat is going to come in like this, right in this area. So here, so I make this little rounded part here, and then I'm just going to come down and draw a line like that. So now I'm going to come back. Now, when you draw a baseball bat, remember that it's going to be thinner or smaller towards the end of the bat, like where you're holding it, and then it gets fatter at the end where it actually hits the baseball. So I'm going to come in like this, and I almost make this like diagonal shape. So you see how it's thinner and then it gets fatter? And then I'm just going to round that up right there. So again, you see it's like thinner and then it gets bigger towards the end of the bat. Then just for a little shape definition, I'm going to add this like a little bit of a curved line there to show that it's like the end of the bat there. All right. So now that we have that, let's go in and let's add our fingers. So we have 5 fingers, right? So let's add those in here. So this is our thumb. So this is 1. So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to come up and I'm going to make this kind of shape right there. Can you guys see that? So that's 1 finger. And we're just going to add 3 more of these. So that's 1, 2. And what I'm doing is I'm just coming out into the back here. And I'm just adding these shapes. So you can see I'm just like kind of making those like loops in the back. So this is 4. And then 1 more for the pinky. There we go. There we go. Perfect, right? So then, now that we have our hand here, what I'm going to do is right in here where our thumb is and this pointer finger here, I'm going to add a little bump. So this is like 1 little curve here. See that little curved line right there that I added? Right there. So that's just a little bend for the finger. And I'll color this in right here, just a little black. Add that in. So as you can see, it's not like the most scientific looking hand ever, but it's something. We know that it's there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to add the other hand in there. So I'm going to come right here. So you see that bend that we made when we drew our thumb, this little valley? That's what we're going to be drawing in. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to take my pen. I'm going to roll around. And I'm going to make this like kind of a curve. Just like that. Little rainbow. That. Then I'm going to come in just a little bit, maybe like less than half an inch. And I'm going to come down with a little curve and I'm going to bend it like that. So you can see that right there. I made that rainbow shape and then I came a little bit with that curve. And then this finger here, I'm going to finish that curve in there right there. So that's that other hand. So what's really fun about this, and when drawing in particular, is it doesn't have to look exactly like a hand. As long as it looks enough and you can make it out, you can make these fun shapes that give the appearance of what it is. So this way you're not like, let me draw it exactly like a hand and stuff. We're just giving the outline of what it is for a drawing, which works great. All right. So now I'm going to come up and I'm going to add this like little, kind of like a little rectangle, a little rounded rectangle at the top of that hand right there. So this is like the part of the glove that you put your hand into. And then I'm going to add one more little rectangle on the side. And this is that Velcro part. So basically I made one big rectangle and then threw another one on the inside at the top. All right, so we're almost done here. So now that we have this arm here and these hands and this hand here, let's connect it with this arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here into the sleeve. So I'm going to, so you see where I'm making that little mark right here? I'm not going all the way to the end of our sleeve. I'm coming in a little bit to give it the look that is coming out of our sleeve, right? The arm. So I'm going to come up and make this little bend. And I'm going to meet the glove. So you guys can see that right there, right? So again, just remember when you're drawing, your arm is always like bigger towards your elbow. That's where that muscle is. So you want to make sure that that's bigger and then it thins out to your wrist. So that's what we did right here. So now I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to come over on the other side and I'm just going to have this kind of a curved line here and fit it right there. So you can see we have the outside of the arm and then the inside here just as this little curve. All right. So this is the main part of our drawing we've done. So let's go in and let's add a couple of details to make it look really fun, right? So here's our sleeve. I'm just going to have this one little curved line right here, just a little baby one. And that's just to give, you can see I popped that right there. And that's just to give a little definition to the sleeve. And then like I did right here, this like feathering out, that fanning, I'm going to do that up here too. So I'm just going to make a couple lines. So what I did for there, so this is like the part of the sleeve that goes into your armpit, right? And what I did, again, is I just took one line, and then I just continued out and drew a couple more lines out of that. That is just a detail that I like to add in there. All right, cool. So now that we have that in here, let's come in and let's add like the middle part of the jersey, the part that you button up when you wear it. So I'm gonna come right here and I'm just gonna make this line that comes down like this on this part. Because when you take a swing, or in this case where Dom's hitting that walk-off home run, your body is like twisting into it, right? Because you're swinging with it. So that's why it's not like a line down, it's curved because it's going along with the motion of the body when it makes that bat swing. And then now that I have that line here, on this side, I'm just gonna take a lighter line and just draw that in there. So this is like just a double part right here. This is the part where you button up your jersey. All right, so I'm gonna write Mets right here. So this is our Mets jersey, obviously. So one of the things that you want to do, and I'll show you here, is again, it's like rounded out. So like my M is like kind of hidden a little bit of it, and I'm just gonna build that out right there. So also too, remember that when you write in your Mets logo there, you want to leave a little space for the number so we can tell who it is too. So I'm gonna come into here and I'm just gonna start to draw the Mets in script right there. So you can write this however you want. There's like bubble letters you can write in there. You want to make it look like a 90s starter jersey. Remember those? Those were cool. You can pop those in. I'm a big fan of the script font. And I like to do it in these bubble letters in there. So this is many years of practice drawing this. So don't worry if yours doesn't look perfect. So just something like that I drew in there. And if you want help, I'm sure you could look at any Mets jersey or Mets thing that you have, and you could copy that. And now I'm just going to put, I like to say, a little heavenly glow. So I'm just like lightly kind of outlining that Mets logo there. And the reason I do this is because later I'm going to color in that Mets logo, the letters, in orange. And that other line, this little heavenly glow, I'm going to leave that white just so it pops a little bit. All right, so Dom changed his number this season to number 2. So we're going to write a number 2 right here. So I like to make it look like an athletic number 2, kind of like on a jersey, right? So what that means is when I do that 2, I just kind of make it like blocky. So it's like line up like a block, pop that in. And again, I'm just going to add another little heavenly glow around that. All right. Great. So 2 last things. First, we're going to write in our Mets logo up here. So I'm just going to do like a bubble letter version of it. So it's an N inside of a Y. So I'm just going to kind of make this a bubble letter there. So if you're watching this at another time, or if you're watching it live and then you're coming back and watching it again, you can kind of slow this down, rewind it to see how I do. Sorry if I'm doing this so fast. It's kind of tough to describe. So basically, it's an N and a Y. And if you're using like a pencil, you can kind of draw that in and then trace that with your marker or your crayon or something. But this is how I'm going to draw mine. All right. And then the last thing we're going to add are these like swing lines, What makes this fun, because like right now, it looks like he's just like frozen in time, right? But if I add these little swinging lines here, you can see what we're doing. He's like swinging the bat. So I'm just going to turn my paper the other way for a sec. And I'm just going to the reason I do this is so I can make this kind of swing. So I'm just going to make that curve. Now, when you make these like swing lines on there, don't worry if they're not perfect. They're just like, just add a little bit of motion there. Something like that, right? All right. Oh, I almost forgot. This is our Mets patch, right? So I'm just going to make another little Mets logo in there, just like we did with the front of the jersey. Now, you can see I just kind of threw mine in there. It's just kind of like a blob, a little bit. That's just a little detail. What the viewer, the person looking at your drawing, knows what it looks like or what it is. All right. So let's color this in. Let me find my crayons. They didn't roll all over town. Yeah. All right, blue, orange. Let me get my other one. So while I'm running around my house getting my crayons, how you guys doing? You having a good time? It's May. Can you believe it? This is where you're gonna see all those memes of Justin Timberlake. It's gonna be May. And I just did it. Saved you some time. All right, so I'm just gonna color this in. Like I said, I'm gonna draw my blue home jersey on there. But let's have a little chat. My favorite part, my double part of the week. How's your day going, guys? You staying inside? You baking lots of cookies, all that stuff? Not driving mom and dad too crazy? That's good. So let me ask you guys. I know we always say, where are you guys drawn from? Make sure to write that in the comments. It's one of my favorite things. We see somebody from LA added something in, which was kind of fun the other day. I saw those in the YouTube comments. We have our international drawing club crew. We got Japan, Milan, Australia. Let's see where else we are. Baseball fans all over the world. So while I'm doing this, I don't know if you guys have watched. I know that baseball is starting to return to some other parts of the world. So in Taiwan, they were playing baseball, but there's no fans in the stands. But what they did is they printed out like cardboard cutouts of fans. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's so funny. You should check that out. So they've been doing that at a couple stadiums. I wonder if they'll do that here with MLB if that works out. I would totally do that. Maybe you could get that'd be a great contest. Go in and you can get your photo taken and you can be one of the cardboard cutouts in the stands. Feel free to use that, MLB, as long as you get my ginger face in there. So I'm just adding some orange in there. And also, guys, let me know what you want to draw. This class is for you. I could sit here. I'm drawing this stuff for fun anyway, but I want us to draw together. So let us know what kind of thing you want to draw. We got some fun stuff coming up, but maybe for some future drawings, like City Field from a suggestion. Shea Stadium was a suggestion in there. Also, fun story. Like, do you guys do you wear player jerseys? And if you do, what's your good match? Like, what player do you have? Is there like a safe player? Like Tom Seaver is a safe player, David Wright, that sort of thing. I have a friend who has a Ryan Church jersey. I think he got to wear it for one season. You can pop that in. All right. Add a little skin tone there. Pop that in there. And like I always say, don't worry if you're coloring outside the lines and stuff. This is what's really cool about crayons. It's like a fun tool. You can just kind of add in what you want. And I think it adds a little fun if it's a little messy, especially because our lines are a little lively, right? They got a little liveliness to it, right? You can see that they're not perfect on there. Great. Well, there's Dom Smith. Not too bad, right? So like we always say, it's really good to sign your drawing in there so no one steals it and it's like, this is mine, I drew it. You're a liar. Look at that name, my guy. So I like to sign in the bottom right-hand corner somewhere around here. So I'm just going to write Herm. I make this little smiley face on there. Show me too, guys. If you guys have like a fun autograph that you sign on there, let me see that when you send your drawings in later. Anyway, but like we also like to date our drawings too. So May 1st, 2020. And what's really cool about dating your drawing, once you continue on your drawing journey and all that, practice makes perfect, right? So you can take a look back and be like, oh man, this drawing was not so good this day, but this day got much better. Or many years from now, it's fun to kind of look back on that. So everybody starts somewhere, Awesome. So there we go. There's Dom Smith, member of the Cookie Club himself. So thanks so much for drawing with me, guys. I had a really good time. I hope you did. And now that we sat here and we had this like great conversation, I want to see your drawings. So please share them with us, right? And you're not just sharing them with me, you're sharing them with all of us. We're like a big art club, right? Our Mets art club. So we've got a little hot dog here. So here's how you can share it with us. So on Instagram, you can tag me at Herm Herman. This is the #1 place to get me. I love Instagram. I'm always on there. If Twitter is more your thing, no sweat. You can go on hermsterms.com. You can tag me on in that. And again, don't forget to tag the 7 line as well. So what we're going to do is my promise to you, anytime you tag me in one of your drawings, I'll comment, I'll repost it, and I'll tell you how awesome it is. We can pop that in there. So excited to see all of your drawings there. And if you want to see some more of my work, my other artwork too, you can go to hermsterms.com. You can read a little bit more about moi, and you can see some of my other, like maybe non-baseball kind of drawings in there. There's a few. You can check that out. Awesome. So before we go, I want to show you one thing. So next week is going to be a really special drawing that I can't wait. It is going to be the anniversary of one of the greatest home runs in history. May I say that? I did it. When Big Sexy Bartolo Colon smashed that home run. I believe it was in San Diego. I know the 7-line army was there, which is pretty cool. So if he was going to hit a home run anywhere with any crew, this is it. It's like a storybook. It's one of those weddings you see on TLC, Anyway, but this is kind of what we're working with here. So we'll have Bartolo, Big Sexy, kind of swinging through, hitting that out. Maybe we can add a little animated baseball coming through on there too. Awesome. So once again, guys, that's what we'll be drawing on Wednesday. Thanks so much for drawing with me. I can't wait to see your drawings, and please share them out. Have an amazing day. Be the best you can be every day. And I can't wait to see you soon. I love you to death. We'll see you. Bye-bye.